Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cal Poly's Nutrition Program Virtual Open House. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. We are hoping that in the next hour, we will be able to provide you with an overview of our program, some of our research and other activities, as well as the various opportunities for enhancing education and skill sets in the field of nutrition. I am Dr. Michael Lafrano. I'm an assistant professor in the nutrition department, and I'm joined by Associate Professor Dr. Angelo Sikalidis, the director of our dietetics program, Corinne Colin, as well as some of our great nutrition students, including Cici Kanata, Rose Vernon Georgi, Michelle Quinones, and Catherine Johnson. From a logistical standpoint, I wanted to mention a few things before we begin. Our format of delivery will be a combination of both video broadcasting and live discussion Q&A sessions that we alternate back and forth. So the schedule is the following. We're going to broadcast a message from our department head, Dr. Stephanie Jung. After that, we'll be broadcasting a video with a presentation of our nutrition program that really goes into all the details about it and all the potential for future careers that could come from being involved in our program. And during the time of these broadcasts, during these videos, please write any questions you might have in the chat box in Zoom. Going over them as the chat is populating, we'll be answering your questions right after the video. So especially as you go through those videos, these questions may arise, and just feel free to just put them in immediately. We'll be tracking them and we'll get back to them. So after those videos, we will have that discussion section. If time permits, we do have other videos we can show that share some information about some of our other nutrition students and their experiences in the program, as well as some videos about our research, student involvement in research, and other program-related campus events. So with that, I would like to thank you all again once more for being here, and we will be starting our program with a video by the department head.
Prospective students and parents, good morning and welcome to the Food Science and Nutrition Virtual Open House event. My name is Stephanie Jung, and I am the head of the Department of Food Science and Nutrition. Thanks for taking the time to join us this morning. We have an exciting agenda planned for you today. This morning, you are going to hear from our faculty and our students about their learning in the classroom and unique hands-on opportunities they are exposed to. Besides the learning in the classrooms, we offer our students many opportunities that allow them to further develop the skills necessary to be successful professionals. For example, they can further develop their critical thinking skills by working with faculty on research projects during the school year or during the summer. Our department offers unique food production opportunities that allow students to design, produce, and sell commercial food items, including chocolate bars, jam, and barbecue sauce. Most of our students do internships with leading companies, many of which are within our community, and also develop their leadership abilities by being involved in our multiple students clubs and our FSN Students Advisory Council. We are very proud to offer many scholarship opportunities to our students, so do not hesitate to ask any question you may have in that regard. While you are going to hear about our programs, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about our department. Our department is one of the largest ones in the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences, with a total of about 600 students in our undergraduate and graduate food science and nutrition programs. We have a total of 14 faculty, 8 lecturers, and 5 staff members. We are very proud of the fact that our professional societies validate the quality of the concentrations we offer within our food science and nutrition programs. On the food science, Our advanced food science concentration is approved by the Institute of Food Technologists, and our culinology concentration is approved by the Research Chefs Association. On the nutrition side, our applied nutrition concentration is accredited by the Accreditation Council for Education in Nutrition and Dietetics. We also offer a dietetic internship program to students interested in becoming registered dietitians. I have one last exciting piece of information to share with you. We are in the last stage of the construction of a state-of-the-art building. The Boswell Ag Tech Center will have 7 new laboratories for our department, including a culinary teaching suite, a sensory analysis teaching and research lab, 2 food safety laboratories, one teaching and research instrumentation lab, and a nutrition and food studies lab. This is a transformational moment for our programs, which will give our students opportunities that were not possible before due to the lack of space. These labs will provide the much needed opportunity for us to expand our applied research abilities. Faculty and students will be working directly with industry partners and the community to solve real-world problems. These labs will enable research and discovery to help train you, the leaders of tomorrow. For example, research will take place on food safety, which is at the center of our food system. Students and faculty will work on the development of new food products and advance the knowledge of nutrition, including functional food, nutraceutical, and gut health by using a variety of nutritional analytical methods and disease assessment. We are extremely excited that our students will be able to use such a state-of-the-art facility in the near future. Please check out our website for more information about it. In conclusion, I want to say that this past year has been unrealistic and unexpected and has challenged all of us in many ways. I can only imagine how challenging it must be to take a college decision in the current situation, within being able to visit our campus and meet with our students and faculty in person. However, I am confident that this morning you will have the opportunity to get to know us and our students, and we look forward to answer any question that you may have. We are hopeful that by the beginning of fall quarter, the majority of us will be back on campus and ready to experience learn by doing together in person. Safety is our top priority, and we will continue to follow the state, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and California State University guidelines. I hope you will enjoy the open house event today. And if you have any additional questions, please be aware that we will be hosting Q&A Zoom events in April and before the May 1st deadline. Please check our website for dates regarding these events. Thank you for joining today and giving us the opportunity to share how our programs will prepare you to be ready day one after graduation and have a successful career. Stay well.
Dear friends, welcome to Cal Poly's virtual open house. Proud Mustangs, welcome back home, albeit virtually. My name is Angelo Sikalidis, and I am an associate professor of nutrition in the Department of Food Science and Nutrition, and it is my privilege and pleasure to provide you with a brief overview of our nutrition program. Before we begin, I would like to underline that our hearts go to the victims' families and all those in need during those challenging times with the COVID-19 pandemic. All of us faculty and staff at Cal Poly are committed in the highest resolve to support our students and mission and go through this. Time, patience, and perseverance will accomplish all things. In the next few minutes today, we will be telling you a little bit about us in the FSN department. We will be talking about majors focusing on nutrition. We will also talk about job opportunities in the field, as well as opportunities for involvement in clubs, teams, research, and campus life in general. If you have any questions, please note them down on the chat, and we will be replying to you once this presentation has been concluded. Starting with some background about us, Cal Poly's Food Science and Nutrition Department is one of the largest in the United States. It houses experienced faculty and staff with primary emphasis on undergraduate education. As we oftentimes anecdotally say, teaching and training are both entrenched in our academic DNA. As such, we value a learn-by-doing philosophy whereby students are able not only to acquire the theoretical knowledge and critical thinking skills that they need, but also put all that into practice in the classroom setting. Whether it is a field trip, a laboratory class, a summer undergraduate research experience, or working with faculty in research projects, the delivery of our curriculum is purposely infused with plenty of opportunities for hands-on experiences. This is, in fact, one of the elements of reputation we have among employers and stakeholders that the Cal Poly graduate is ready to hit the road. We are fortunate that our curricula, both for the food science and nutrition programs, are accredited by the corresponding professional accrediting bodies, which strongly positions Cal Poly among relevant competition. The nutrition program is accredited by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, whereas the food science program is accredited by the Institute of Food Technologists. Before we move forward, I would like to orient you as per the structure and the corresponding language of our academic units. Cal Poly, as a university, is divided to a number of colleges, and in each college, there are departments. A department, in our case, that of Food Science and Nutrition, is the academic unit that houses the programs which award degrees in specific majors. Hence, when a student matriculates to Cal Poly, they enroll in a major. In the Food Science and Nutrition department, we have the nutrition program, which offers the nutritional science and the applied nutrition concentrations as majors, and then the food science program, which offers the major in the concentrations of advanced food science and culinology. Today, we will be focusing on the nutrition major. A person graduating with a nutrition major essentially dives into the study of nutrients in foods, how the body uses them and interacts with them, how this interaction impacts health and disease, and by understanding the nutritional biochemistry and the clinical implications, how can we utilize diets towards prevention and treatment, or at least better management of disease. Nutrition, or nutritional sciences to be more accurate, is a fairly broad collection of sciences that inform how the body works and the individual responds in relation to nutrient intake. In this sense, our field gracefully spans from molecular biology and metabolism to clinical, medical nutrition therapy, therapeutic meal design, hospital setting food service, community programs, food choices, and behavioral modification, to name just a few. Thus, a nutrition graduate learns on the prevention of disease, treatment of nutrition problems, and health optimization. Consequently, a person with a nutrition degree can make a difference in the quality of life and lifespan of individuals, their families, and entire communities. With a Bachelor's of Science in Nutrition, there are two options as per the concentration to be chosen. One can choose the Applied Nutrition concentration or the Nutrition Science concentration. The nutrition curriculum in general includes a core comprising chemistries, biology, statistics, math, biochemistry, and support courses for all concentrations. Courses are unique to each concentration and are supplemented by general education courses that are providing breadth to the overall college education. The Applied Nutrition concentration meets the course requirements of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. It covers the courses that are required for dietetic internship, post-graduation to become a registered dietitian, and of course it prepares you for many career options. There are several possibilities for rewarding careers in nutrition, such as clinical dietitian, community or public health nutrition, food service manager or director, sports nutrition expert, nutrition consultant, or researcher. The nutrition science concentration prepares students primarily interested in health science professions research rigorous careers, as well as graduate education. More specifically, career examples include that of nurse, dentist, physician's assistant, physical therapist, and medical doctor. Also, nutrition science concentration prepares students for careers in research, as in research institutes, National Institutes of Health, Center for Disease Control, United States Department of Agriculture, pharmaceutical companies, biotechnology companies, startup companies on the interface of technology, health, and biology, as well as graduate education, hence master's degrees and PhD programs. Nutritionists can contribute significantly in product development, work or on novel foods, and especially contribute in the understanding of the nutritional and health implications of nutrients, which tends to be the key point of interest from a modern consumer's perspective. It is important and most helpful if company X, that's the food industry, has a nutritionist with expertise in metabolism to make sense of what the food labels imply nutritionally, and more so from a health standpoint, especially when health claims are involved. And the good news is that progressive companies actually do think that way. There's a plethora of potential employers that can accommodate a nutrition degree, including hospitals, public health departments, private entities, care facilities, sports teams, the military, international organizations such as World Health Organization and Food and Agriculture Organization, federal and state organizations like National Institutes of Health, Food and Drug Administration, United States Department of Agriculture, Center for Disease Control, and many more. Regarding the question as to why to choose Cal Poly, well, as mentioned previously, teaching and training is what we do best. And we have a culture for it, which strengthens faculty-student interactions over a learn-by-doing philosophy. You will be doing a lot of hands-on work in classes. You will be designing specialized menus, new food products. You will be assessing the food safety of certain food items. You will be developing therapeutic foods sustainably. You will be assessing nutritional status and fitness. You will be teaching nutrition in the community, and you will be having the opportunity to work with kids, elderly, homeless, farm workers, and many more. You will also be having outside formal class requirements, which are both educational and fun. There are many additional activities and student clubs relevant to nutrition and food science. There's the Nutrition Club for the nutrition science majors, and then the Food Science Club for the food science majors. And of course, there are many more various types of student clubs across campus. Furthermore, there are opportunities to compete on academic teams, and we have been very successful with many competitions. There are opportunities to get involved in research at the department level and be involved in cardiometabolic disease research, sports nutrition, maternal malnutrition, international nutrition, food insecurity research, nutrient metabolism research, food safety, brewing, food processing, and product development. There are also research activities that are taking place at the college level, like the summer undergraduate research program, which often our faculty partner with, Spring Student Research Symposium, and CSU Research Competition. Also, if business is your cup of tea, you can join our business enterprise and contribute to the production of our excellent Cal Poly products. Last but not least, you can get involved at professional meetings, such as the American Society for Nutrition or Cal Poly Spring Research Symposium. In closure, it would be our pleasure to welcome you to our nutrition family and have you join our outstanding students. To learn more, please visit our websites listed or that of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics and Institute of Food Technologists. On behalf of all the faculty and the nutrition program, I would like to thank you all for your time and attention, and we will be happy to take any questions you have. Thank you.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed learning more about our program. Please continue to enter any questions you have in the chat. Before we begin answering questions, I would like to introduce myself and my fellow faculty and students that are co-hosting this open house. I'm Dr. Michael Lafrano. I'm an assistant professor in the nutrition department. I'm a registered dietitian and I teach predominantly metabolism and scientific writing courses. My research focuses on the metabolic response to diet and disease using metabolomics analysis. Also here is Dr. Angelo Sikalides. He's an associate professor in the nutrition department. He teaches both metabolism and research-focused courses in our curriculum and specializes in the investigation of type 2 diabetes as well as personalized nutrition. Corinne Colin is the director of our didactic program in dietetics and is a lecturer. She also works in the field as a registered dietitian and is certified as a nutrition support clinician and diabetes educator. Catherine Johnson is a graduate of the Cal Poly Nutrition Program and is currently a graduate student in the Cal Poly MS Nutrition Program. She transferred here from Allen Hancock College and has since been involved in the Cal Poly roller hockey club team, has conducted research for multiple Cal Poly faculty, and has been a teaching assistant. Also, she was recently accepted into the dietetic internship at UC Davis. Rose Vernon Georgie is a fourth-year nutrition major with a concentration in applied nutrition. She transferred here from Allen Hancock College as well. She's the vice president of the Student Parent Coalition Club, chair of the FSN Student Advisory Council, and a student assistant of the Cal Poly Dietetic Internship Program. Michelle Quinones is a third-year nutrition major with a concentration in applied nutrition and is the publicity and media representative for the Nutrition Club. And lastly, Cece Kanata is a nutrition major with a minor in dance and is on the pre-med track. She is part of the University Honors Program, Global Medical Brigades, in Science Society, and participates in research with faculty. So with that said, we will start answering some questions that have been entered into the chat. I see that one has been partially answered. Corinne, can you expand a little bit more on the decision of concentration early in your time at Cal Poly?
Yeah, I think most students declare their concentration in their first quarter at Cal Poly. When you come to Cal Poly, all students are going to be enrolled in FSN 101, which is an introductory nutrition course where you're going to learn about different careers, the different concentrations, kind of the different pathways post-graduation and in the work field. And that can kind of help you select your concentration better. And so usually during that class, I think is when students do declare their concentrations.
And as for the students on the panel right now, when did you end up deciding on your concentration?
I did declare my concentration during that FSN 101 class, but I actually ended up changing my mind and I added the second concentration at the end of my junior year. So you can definitely have time to change if you do want that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. As a transfer student, in my first quarter, I also took FSN 101 to help me get my bearings on what were expected to do in the next couple of years. And that's when I decided my concentration. But I also knew a lot of people who had switched concentrations during their time. So.
And Cece, there's a question about minor declaration. You're a minor in dance. What was your experience with this?
I think for minors, it depends on what the minor is in. I know some you have to declare it before you can begin taking classes. For dance, I was able to start the minor without declaring it. So I would recommend just looking into the specific one you're interested in and seeing what their requirements are.
Thank you.
Just to add to this, from a faculty perspective, certain minors require students to have taken certain classes before they can be deemed eligible for a minor declaration. So depending on the minor, you need to research that and make sure that if there are certain classes that you need to have successfully taken, of course, obviously you have to do that first before you can even apply to the minor. There's usually a faculty member who is the designated minor coordinator, and depending on, again, the minor, you can contact that person and therefore get information about the specific minor that you're interested in.
Thank you, Dr. Sigalides. So another big question, and we have actually a couple of them related to this, and I do want to bring up a slide that I have that references this as well. So one of the big questions for nutrition is that effective January 1st, 2024, there's going to be a minimum degree requirement for eligibility. For eligibility to take the registration examination for dietitians. So you're going to need a graduate degree for this at that point. And we do have some people on the panel here that have worked with that. So one was specifically about the blended program. This is something that we are currently exploring. This is a type of program where it's essentially a 5-year program where the first more or less 4 years is undergrad, and then you finish up your master's in about a year and a half or so of the program. So this is something that we've looked at all aspects of. We are going to be coming to a decision in some time in the near future about which of these potential options would be best. One of the other ones we are considering is the professional masters. And if Dr. Sikalides can mention a little bit about this.
Yes, certainly. So the idea of Master's in Professional Science is a 1-year master's program that is focusing on preparing with a stronger science background professionals and practitioners in the field of nutrition. The idea is to have a delivery of that program online, and it can be taken either standalone separately, so somebody would be able to enroll in that and take it, or it could also be attended in combination with a dietetic internship. And if that's the case, or that's the model, in a case like that, the student would be fulfilling the requirement towards the 2024 requirement from the academy. So for in the MPS cohort, you may be having fellows who are already registered dietitians, and they're interested in furthering their knowledge and skill in nutritional sciences, or you could have fellows who are taking the MPS, and at the same time they're doing their dietetic internship, right? And either at Cal Poly or somewhere else, right? So that is that's in a nutshell the philosophy behind this program, and we are actively working on establishing that.
And then lastly, the other one we're looking into too is a possibility of an MSDI. We're in the process of hiring another dietetic internship director, and then which we'll be looking into that as well to just try to determine what would work best. We certainly want to adjust to this new requirement and provide our students with good options for their future, but are just in the process currently of figuring that out.
And we do currently have, obviously, our MS program. That's a Master of Science in Nutrition. It's a thesis-based program, and there's a research component to it as well. It's a 2-year program. So again, that can be a standalone program or be combined with a DI. And there are, I believe, 2 cases, if I'm not mistaken, of students of ours who are actually doing both. Right? They're dietetic interns and they're master's students in our program. One of the things that is very important, and all faculty take great care when we're designing new programs and when we're implementing changes to the current programs, is to ensure the high quality of the instruction and the program as an educational program. So I understand personally the urge that some students have to be able to be done as quickly as possible with as many credentials done in the shortest possible time frame. But at the same time, it is important to make sure that whatever we do is of high quality and the time is really well spent. And sometimes the quality requires more time, right? So please keep those things in mind when you make decisions.
Yes, so and expanding on that too, the MS Nutrition, something we currently have, is something that many of our Cal Poly students have transitioned towards. And one of those is Catherine Johnson here, and I'll pass over the mic to her in just a second. But so many students will use that to be an applied nutrition major, enter into this program, and then go from there to a dietetic internship. In some cases, we have transfer students that will come here and do all of their classes required prior to going to a dietetic internship. But Catherine came in as a transfer student. Can you talk a little bit about your experience?
Yeah, so I'm kind of like a non-traditional student because I'm a little bit older. But at Cal Poly, it's nice because that really isn't a problem, and the class sizes are really small, which are really nice. So you get to know your professors very well. So it makes it easier to do research with them and to get to know them a little better, and they get to know you a little bit better. And I think that's probably one of the most appealing things about Cal Poly, having that small classroom size. It makes it a little bit more intimate in the learning environment. And then for me, the decision for me to stay for my master's degree was an easy decision for me, because I knew that it gives me more time to do research and to acquire more skills that I might need for the future. And also being a master's student and putting that on my resume and making that next step, going into a dietetic internship, it makes you a little bit more competitive, and it makes it easier to go to a place that you really want to go to, that you apply to. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so as Catherine was saying, that there's a lot of different ways to enter into Cal Poly and then proceed with the education we have here. Rose, can you speak a little bit about your experience?
Yeah, so I transferred from Allen Hancock College in 2019, and I've been at Cal Poly for the last 2 years. Dr. Lafrano, what did you want me to say about that, though? I do plan to get a master's degree and do the DI, but I'm not there yet.
Okay. Yeah, just about what your future plans are.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I work for the, as a student assistant, I work for the dietetic internship, and it's a great program. I track the interns throughout the program, and the rotations they have are really great hands-on learning, and I think the experience that you get through that program is really valuable. And then even as a student in the program right now, even though we're virtual, we still have opportunities to get hands-on experience in leadership and things like presenting at open house. So there's still a lot of opportunities even in a virtual format.
Thank you. Michelle, can you talk a little bit about what your future plans are?
Yeah, so right now I'm a third year. I came in as a freshman, applied nutrition, and right now I'm also really looking into a master's dual with an internship. I'll start applying, upcoming months, but I think going along with what they said, Cal Poly offers so many opportunities to be competitive when you're applying to those. I am a part of Nutrition Club. I have been for the past 3 years. And being involved in stuff like that, along with the various like job opportunities and volunteer experiences that being in the club, being at Cal Poly offers is really, really great. I know from being in the club, for example, we have registered dietitians from the community come and speak regularly, which is great because you get to hear from dietitians working in community, working in clinical, as well as like in food banks. All that stuff is really great. And it's just a really tight-knit community, I would say, that I enjoy. And it makes me feel more confident, like planning my future, because I know that, the community is so strong. So many opportunities are always present. They're not like, we don't like hide them from you. Like something comes up, we share it with everyone, which is really great. And yeah, I'm excited for when I start applying in the future.
Thank you. And Corinne, can you talk a little bit about the success and the preparation of the students for the dietetic internships, what we do to help them?
Yeah, so I mean, starting in that FSN 101 class, I actually start talking about how to prepare for internships if that's what you're interested in that early on. So if that's what you think your career path is, starting your freshman year, like some of the other students said, we'll try to hook you up with opportunities and volunteer positions and, research. When you do get to your senior year is the time that most students apply. And I have an entire class for that as well. So you get credit for taking a class that walks you through every single step of the application process, which is helpful for you guys and helpful for me. We do have pretty high success rates with students matching to internships, especially if students are willing to be flexible with where they're going to go. This year, we have students going to Texas, Virginia, Michigan, Rhode Island, Florida, Montana, Idaho, Utah, California, Oregon, just a whole bunch of places for internships. There are a lot of opportunities for combined master's internships. It's kind of the latest trend where internships pair with a master's degree. And some of those can be really good kind of like deals because you can get your master's degree with your internship in sometimes as little as like 16 or 18 months for both. But yeah, we're there with you every step of the way. Actually, a big part of my job is just to help you guys be successful in internships. So you guys can reach out like anytime, and I try to do things to help you as well.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's definitely a big part, and that's the choice of many of the students. But we also have a large amount of students that would like to go on to the medical profession in a different capacity. And so there's a lot of different experiences that can help if that's your track, especially those that are the nutrition science concentration. Cece, can you talk a little bit about what your plans are?
Yes, I'm still deciding my plans. I change my mind like every quarter, but I came in as a freshman and chose the nutrition science concentration because I did not think at first that I wanted to go down the registered dietitian path, and the nutrition science concentration gives you the opportunity to take a number of approved electives. And so I used all of those electives to take my pre-med prerequisites. I didn't have to take a lot of extra classes. And then later on, I decided, well, maybe I do want to do the registered dietitian. So then I added the applied concentration. And so the nice thing about the program is that you have a lot of flexibility in the classes that you take, and you can choose different paths depending on what your interests are. My current plan is I didn't apply to internships this year. I almost did, but I decided to hold off. I'm going to just take a year off to gain more experience and then possibly think about applying to med school in the future.
Yeah, so definitely it's a preparation that can be applied to a lot of different types of careers in the future. And we like to try to provide experience, but also try to provide some opportunities for support. And I wanted to mention real quick some of these opportunities that are available. I think I might have skipped the slide. So there are over $22,000 in scholarship for food science nutrition students. So up to about 16 students a year. There's a lot of opportunities for being a student assistant, so working with faculty on grading. Also, research involvement is something that many are involved in. And so I know that some of the students here on the panel have some experience with those. Rose, have you had any experience with scholarships or anything like that?
Yeah, I have actually. What's really neat about Cal Poly is you apply to the Cal Poly scholarships in one application, and then they suggest things that that might fit for you. And so every year I apply for the Cal Poly scholarships, and then I get like a dozen or so, maybe even 24 opportunities pop up of additional applications that I can submit. And so it makes it really easy to find scholarships that fit for you personally. I am a mother, and so I qualify for very specific scholarships for parents, student parents, and those opportunities are kind of difficult to find, and so it automatically generates those for you, and you get suggested scholarships to apply to. So each year I've received scholarships from different organizations, and it's been like a huge help.
Thank you. And Catherine, I know you've been involved in a couple of these as well. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to also apply for the general Cal Poly scholarship, and then also be selected for a couple of scholarships, which have really helped out a lot through this, especially during COVID-19. It's been a little bit more difficult than usual, but there was one foundation that I worked with that helped me not only gain experience in research under Dr. Lafrano, but at the same time, I was also getting paid for it. So it was just really great that Cal Poly has such those opportunities available for their students.
Thank you. Yeah, so there's, Catherine's also worked as a teaching assistant as well. So there's a few opportunities for that, or to assist with, for example, like lab classes. And so there's different opportunities like that to try to help support you, but also give you an experience that's applicable to your future goals. I did want to take a second to ask Michelle about the nutrition club. If you could talk about some of the activities that students are involved in on campus.
Right. So the club is open to pretty much any major, but of course it usually attracts nutrition majors. And we do social events for you to meet other people in the club. Like we've had acai socials, we've had potlucks, we've gone on hikes to Madonna, which is great. But also a main point of it is we always have, like I mentioned, guest speakers. I know we've had like camp directors come and talk about summer programs. They've talked about various volunteer experiences. We can hear all about the food bank, the food day that we have at Cal Poly, which we regularly have. Of course, this year was different. And we have Cal Fresh, various programs dedicated around like food insecurity, all of that stuff. And our club tries very hard to be kind of involved in like most things in the nutrition department, whether it's also working with Food Science Club, which we mentioned, there's also that club. We have events with them. And it's a great way to network, again, not just with students, because you meet them in your classes and the club's great because you can hang out with people in your major and get to know them outside of class, but also with professionals in the field. And before this year, we would regularly have like food and snacks available at every meeting. Hopefully later on, we can maybe eventually get to that. But it's just really great to just come, learn, grow with people that have the same interest in you, whether they're the same major or not. You can like even bring friends who are different majors, which is great. Everyone loves food, right? And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'll probably be in it again in another position next year, which is really great. And if you do come, I definitely recommend joining the club. It's a great way to get involved and just learn what's going on in the whole nutrition department. So yeah.
Thank you. Any of the other students like to talk a little bit about some of the things they've been involved in, activities on campus?
For me, I have been a member of a nutrition club since 2017 when I transferred in, and it's been a great aspect. They also have this kind of like a learning portion of it where they have like a hot topic that they talk about each week and have a presentation, and they talk about like what the latest fads are out there in the nutrition world on the internet. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm also a facilitator in the Nutrition Journal Club, and we critically analyze current nutrition research that has just come out, and that has been helpful not just for graduate students, but also for undergrad students, because you have to learn to kind of sort through these scientific journal articles, and they can be kind of difficult to get through, you know, if you're new to it. So this gives you a little bit more experience, and it's more of a casual way to get familiar with that kind of article. And then I'm also, I play on the Cal Poly hockey team, which is kind of different from most people in my major. There's nobody in nutrition in that club, and we travel and we play against other universities. And as a female, I'm the only female on the team, but it's really nice because they don't treat me any differently. So there's a lot of inclusivity in at Cal Poly, so that's really nice. But yeah, since COVID, we haven't been playing, but I'm hoping to get back soon.
Thank you. Another aspect I wanted to allow people to talk about too is just your the experience in your classes specifically, how that has been, of course, pre-COVID and post-COVID, because things are obviously a lot different now. But if anybody could talk a little bit about that.
Well, pre-COVID was great. I mean, you get really close with your classmates, and it really helps keep you on track because everyone in nutrition seems to be like highly academic, very involved, a lot of people volunteering all over the place and just trying to do a lot of outreach. So that was really nice, just the camaraderie. Switching to virtual has been challenging in certain aspects, but also very what's the word? It's been accommodating for most things. You know, we don't miss out on too much. We stay connected, and Zoom has been very helpful because we jump in these calls and we get to work together. Not the same way, but also we're still close in a different way. So I think that Cal Poly does a good job of working with the situation that we have right now, but it's been good.
Another aspect that's nice is if you're coming in as a freshman, I believe they still do this, but you get blocked into your first couple quarters of classes. And so since you don't have to choose them, you automatically get kind of enrolled in the same classes with the same groups of people. So my first quarter, I had like the same schedule as a lot of other nutrition majors. And that was a really easy way to meet people. I'm still friends with some of those people now. And so that aspect is really helpful. And just in later classes too, the major is big, but not too big. Like you will know everyone in your class by the time you get to like your third and fourth year. And so that's really nice.
Okay, thank you. And Dr. Sikoulides, would you like to talk a little bit about the teaching philosophy here at Cal Poly?
Of course, gladly. So the teaching philosophy of Cal Poly, well, Cal Poly being primarily a teaching institution, right? The teaching is it's a central piece in the institution's mission. And so the certain highlights as far as the teaching philosophy goes is one is the small class size compared to the average class size of most colleges in the US and California in particular. So there's a smaller class size, which allows the better and more intimate connection between the faculty and the students. And that is something that was already mentioned by some of our students. Here, it's the opportunity to get to know the professor better. The professor gets to know the students, and that improves the connection and the relationship, so that that relationship carries over even after a particular class has been concluded, and it goes beyond the mere instruction of a class, and in many cases it forms into a mentorship relationship, which can be significantly advantageous for the development in the pursuit of a better career for a student and later on a graduate. So that's one thing. The other is the learn by doing, or the hands-on characteristic of the training and education you get at Cal Poly. So all faculty take extra care in providing either activities or opportunities, I would say in general, enriching the class delivery with ways to engage students into more practical aspects of what the class entails and how that class is actually applied in the field. And also, thirdly, we do research, more applied research, and we take significant steps to involve students in our research work and our research efforts. So that provides another insight, like to the students, of a little bit different than how the theory, or a lot of the theory that they get in labs or get in instruction, how is that applied in a research setting, and more like applied research setting. So we're more focused on solving problems when we do research, and serving the community, and in our case, the California agriculture, and so on and so forth. So those are also things that are more unique to Cal Poly. So the smaller class size and that intimacy in terms of like the development of the instructor-student relationship and the mentorship relationship. Then the hands-on and learn by doing philosophy, and thirdly, the research component that comes to supplement all that and provide another aspect of training to the students.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I think you touched upon a lot of the key aspects. Now, I did want to mention a couple other things because we are running out of time. Now, there are some resources on the FSN website that I highly encourage you to look at. A lot of these videos, very informational. We have some that have been created for like a brief nutrition program video. So it's different than the one we showed. Has some experiences of the students involved there. We also have a couple of day in the life videos, so to give you an indication of what it's like for some of the students here and what they're involved in, and some student spotlight videos as well, sharing some experiences from various students in our program. And furthermore, if you want to get to know some information about the faculty, there's a directory there. You can look at what we teach, what research we're involved in, and then some things about the facilities, including this Boswell Ag Tech Center, which is that new research building that Dr. Young was talking about, where the goal is really to get students involved in research, hands-on, and that's going to be like a really key part of that. And that's going to open, it's on track to open in the fall of 2021. And then I did want to mention also that there's an additional Q&A session on Monday. If anything came up you want to ask about, or you looked at more things on the website and you have more questions, please visit this. This is also posted on the open house website. So we welcome you to attend that as well. But that said, we thank you for attending the virtual open house of Cal Poly's nutrition program. Also want to thank the faculty and students that helped in the panel. And just thanks again for coming to our open house. We hope that you ultimately choose to enroll at Cal Poly, and have a nice rest of your weekend. Bye.